Hey, it's Mike here with the Roadside Oddities team. I'm back in the home base area of Wichita, Kansas, getting ready to gear up for a big road trip. But without I did that, I thought I'd check out a local place called the Pracht Wetlands Park. It's one of the last remaining wetlands in the Midwest. It's a 90-acre facility. There's supposed to be some muskrats and migratory birds and all kinds of exciting stuff like that. I don't know, it's February, it's 60 degrees, unseasonably warm. So I thought it'd be a great idea to come out and check out the path, see what I can see, maybe even eat a little lunch too, and we'll go from there. All right, so I just got my day pack, little hiking pack here, got some full water, a little can of cherry limeade for the lunch, and we're gonna put this on and we're gonna hike over to the trail just up here at the trailhead. And just to give you a perspective of how unique this is, so it's pretty wild to have 90 acres of wetlands just in the city here. If you look off over there, you can see there's a Hampton Inn hotel, there's Sam's Club, Quick Trip, major intersection. So it's great that they've got this peaceful area out here. And if you're looking for one of the most Wichita things you can ever find, these Keeper of the Plain statues, they're all over the city and they're always decorated a little differently. So this is the Keeper of the Pracht Wetlands, but these things are everywhere. I think we spotted our first migratory bird. It looks like a Canadian goose, just sunning itself in the water. Not sure if you can see that or not, but you can see all the buildings over there, and then you've just got this peaceful oasis of the wetlands. And then over there, you've got a housing development. Pretty cool little place, little oasis, you could probably say too. In case you're wondering, there is no fishing out here. All right, so walking around here, I was trying to look at the map a little bit. There's a bunch of different trails. There's an elevated boardwalk. There's some paved paths. There's these dirt trails. Just gonna kind of explore and see what I can find. It's a little confusing. You can see over there, that's the elevated boardwalk. The sign said it's not quite finished. They're in several phases of developing the wetlands out here for use. But figured might as well head down this path. It looks great. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. Again, I've seen one bird so far, and hopefully see a few more. All right, so my bird scene still at 1, which is honestly more than I thought I would see for it being February, but just the abnormal weather temperatures have really made it interesting. So I'm not sure if the birds get confused like humans do when it comes to summertime temperatures in the winter, but we're gonna find out. And this is pretty neat so far. Now, there are a lot of these potholes on this trail. I'm not sure, they are probably animal. Maybe we can see anybody in there hibernating. Nope. All right. So we'll continue on walking around. You can see one of the duck blinds that's over there. Oh goodness, it looks like there's a goose that has passed on, poor guy. Very sad. Looks like some people like to walk their dogs out here. Oh goodness, there's another one too. Ah, it's really sad to see. That's really sad. Got some feathers. It looks like we got more trail going off to the west, or this is kind of back the way we came off of the elevated boardwalk. I'm just gonna walk over here to look at the trail. I don't think I'm actually go all the way back to the boardwalk because I'd like to kind of go over to the other duck blind. And it looks like we got a little bit of American Ninja right here. We'll see if we can navigate this. with ease. Well, that's a little interesting. I don't know if this is a native trash can or not, but it's great to see that people are actually using the trash. And I'm gonna go over here. It looks like we got a little bit of water movement. I'm not sure if it's a frog or not. No, it's gone now. But a little bit of trash and debris over there. That's always sad to see. I'm glad there's a trash can over here. And we'll keep walking on over this way. These reeds, I bet they're pretty in the reed time. And that trail really stretches all the way on down there. Oh yeah, I bet dogs would love this. I'm gonna go just down there to the end of that and kind of see what it looks like. Lots of bird feathers everywhere. You can tell that the birds really like this area, obviously, with how many bird feathers there are. They're really just kind of spread out all over the trail. That's kind of a neat little touch. Definitely let you know you're in a wetlands all the way back in there. Lots more bird feathers over here and some more bird feathers over there. And if you can see way over there, that's where we started on the elevated boardwalk before. That'll be neat once it's finished. But this is also kind of neat though, having just a trail like this though too, to walk on. I got a feeling this probably fills up with water. Oh yeah, and then as we come around the corner, you can tell this really opens up. You got a lot of walking to do. And there is some water way down at the end. Here's where that little cutoff came in. Yeah, we might as well. We got a few extra minutes here. No rush today. Might as well go down and check out the actual water down at the end. Got to remember this is 90 acres. And we've got something over here. I'm going to say this might be a Halloween decoration. Little spiders. A troll. Interesting. I don't think those are native spiders to this area. This park really does make you forget, though, that you're in the city limits. It's a nice little oasis escape. Plenty of these little break-off trails over here, too. I just noticed, too, in the trees over here, there's some of them have had nests in them, which would make sense. There's one right there, and then if you can see this other one, I won't walk back in there to disturb the grass, but there's another one up in those trees over there. I don't know if you can see them. Go over here on this side too. Got a lot of these rock beds. This kind of side's got all rock. Be kind of a nice selling point on those houses too. You could be like, oh, by the way, in your backyard, you've got 90 acres of wetlands. I'm sure they probably fetch a pretty penny. Well, sure enough, we did find some water. Not very much, so I do have a feeling this probably does get a lot fuller during the rainy season. And speaking of rain, it is supposed to rain tonight. After a week of being in the 60s, and I think we even touched the 70s this week. So that'll be nice. Looks like just a little bit of debris build up there. Well, so far I've seen one alive bird. I've seen several dead birds. I've seen lots of feathers and some bird nest. I haven't seen any other type of creatures or anything like that, but given the time of year, that's probably to be expected. And as we come up here around this corner, there's a bit more water. Kind of turns into more like a drainage ditch. Is kind of what it looks like. Oh yeah, the water really increases. So I'm going to work my way back over to the park. I'm going to leave this kind of outer trail, and we're going to head back on through on one of these paths that'll hopefully get me over to the duck blind. Okay, well, maybe this wasn't a trail after all, but I guess I get a close-up look at the thickets. Oh, it's hard to tell. Well, looks like I'm headed back to the main trail because I'm not real sure. But look at these thickets, though. Those are something else. I bet they're really pretty come thicket time. All right, looks like we got to walk all the way back to the back of that building before we start turning back to the way we came. Kind of just made one giant loop here. Believe that is Lowe's that's over there, and that's the Academy Sports on the back side. Here's more of that lake. Let's see if we can see a little bit of it. Probably won't walk back in there. Well, so far it's been a pretty pleasant hike. Okay, it's a walk, but it's been a really pleasant walk. Probably gone about a mile or so. Kind of just weaving around on some of these different trails. Probably going to finish doing about 2 miles today. Probably got another mile or so back to where the car's parked at, but highly recommend coming out here. Definitely need to look at the migratory bird schedule. That'd be pretty neat to see prime time. I bet in the fall too, it's pretty out here as well. But for being a 60-degree day in February in the Midwest, you can't beat this. This is perfect. And I by no means am a stealth camper, but if you're looking for an episode to shoot on stealth camping in a wetlands, you could probably use that tunnel over there. Now, I don't know if it's legal or not, so I'm clearly not encouraging that behavior, but I just saw that tunnel and was like, yeah, somebody somewhere is going to see that and be like, that's the perfect stealth camping spot. All right, so it looks like we've reached the far end of the trail. We're turning the corner here. Obviously, there's nowhere else to go because there's a brick wall on the backside of the Lowe's. So we'll follow this trail and hopefully it'll kind of lead us back to the duck blind area where we're going to try to have some lunch. You can just see how big this 90 acres is. From over here, it gives you a real good angle on it. The amount of debris back here, though, is a little concerning for being a wetlands. I have seen a lot worse, though, behind giant box retailers. So this really isn't that bad, but it's still kind of upsetting to see. All right, I'm going to say we're probably not on the trail anymore. It's a little confusing. Just made the right turn and followed it. Now we're up along this brick wall. There's a lot of trash. It's not real marked or defined. You can definitely see the wetlands, but thought there'd be more of a kind of a marked trail over here. All right, so I'm a little frustrated right now. I followed the trail that started out really strong and it basically just stops. The next thing you know, you're walking through the thickets and it gets really tight along the wall. And there's clearly a lot of debris built up back there. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep working my way out of this. Looks like some other people have had the same problem I have. It looks like there's some lumber that's been laid down to cross. Let me see how secure it is. Well, it's not a lot, but we'll make it work. This one's at least got a couple more reinforcements behind it. You can kind of see there's the drainage ditch. That's pretty much all we walked through. Getting there, getting back kind of the main trail, I guess. Okay. All right. Okay, looks like we reached back to a main trail. That was not enjoyable. I'm not quite sure what phase that is, but that could use a little bit of work still. Back on the main trail. You know, it's just kind of interesting sometimes. A lot of these parks you go visit, there's just so much room for improvement. I don't know why that just wouldn't loop around. Kind of just dead-ended act there, but you don't really know that it did. All right, so at this point, that's the duck blind over there. They've kind of got it decorated. I'm gonna make a turn here and walk my way out on the duck blind. Good thing we didn't see any of those. It's kind of neat. Got some different setups here. I've seen a lot of the trees. There's some muskrat. Common duckweed, gadwall, Shooter. This is pretty cool. This is a neat little setup. Oh, there is a bird out there too, so we'll add that to our bird count. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's out right over there. I'm going to keep walking over to the duck blind. We'll kind of see how this goes. All right, so I had originally planned to eat some lunch over at the trailhead. There's a picnic table area, but with the warm weather, and I believe school's out today too, it's really crowded over there. So I'm just going to grab some lunch over here at the duck blind area, which I believe is what they call this. It's really peaceful over here. There's not really anybody else over here anyway, so going to grab a little bit of lunch. A little hungry. I've probably walked about 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles. And I got a pretty simple lunch today, too. Nothing crazy. I've got your standard cherry limeade from Walmart/Sam's Club. It's the clear American variety. Addicted to this stuff. 0 calories, everything. I'm sure the chemicals in it aren't probably the best, but every once in a while you just need some flavored water. And I love these things. I've got a fresh pack of cheddar cheese flavored sandwich crackers. Excellent for hiking. The only problem is that sometimes they break. Got a granola bar. The all Great Value brand. Nothing wrong with that. And I picked up some all butter croissants. Hopefully they're nice and fresh. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And I've got our Italian salami and some pepperoni. Yeah, you're like, where's the cheese and condiments? Sometimes less is better. And I just like some meat and bread sometimes. So I'm going to set this up, eat some lunch, and then we'll start the hike back around. Did remember to bring a paper towel. So that's good. Oh, yeah. Well, I can already tell. Things always say pill here, and I never listen. Yeah, we'll get a couple of these things on there. Pepperoni. And there we go. It's kind of crinkled. Croissant's kind of struggling today, but it's all about the taste. The croissant still has a really tasty, buttery taste to it. It's actually not too bad. All right, I'm going to go ahead and eat this granola bar. The crackers I'm going to save for later. I'm not as hungry as I thought I was after that sandwich, but it was pretty good for just being a basic meat and bread operation, and nothing beats granola bar, peanut butter granola bar. All right, that was a nice little lunch stop. Made sure to pick up my trash. Still got a little bit of the cherry limeade left. Gonna start making my way back to the trailhead and see what type of animals, if we see any. All right, folks, so we've started to make the turn back around to the trailhead. It's still pretty crowded up at the trailhead. Lots of families with kids and stuff playing on the playground and those type of things. But anyway, I think our final bird count, I think we saw 2, maybe 3 live birds, no other animals, several dead birds, which was unfortunate to see. Also saw lots of feathers, variety of trash, which is unfortunate. But overall, it's a nice escape from the city life. I highly recommend it. Now, as our upcoming schedule, we're going to try to hit another park or 2 over the next couple days. And then later this week, we'll be on the road for several weeks. We're going to be making a variety of national park stops in Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. So I'm really looking forward to that. And so you'll have to stay around and keep an eye out for those videos as they come available. But appreciate you having along today. If you're in Wichita, you want to try something a little different, sell you something a little different, coming out to this 90-acre wetlands and take an hour, a couple hours just to enjoy yourself. Appreciate you watching, and we will see you on down the road.